Calc section 2.8, solving inequalities in one variable. Let f of x be x plus 3 times x minus 4 squared. Determine the real number values of x that cause f of x to be 0, positive, or negative. All right, so it always helps to take a peek here at a graph. Desmos is our best friend when it comes to graphing. So we have x plus 3 times x minus 4 squared. Boom. Okay, we can see that, if we zoom this out a little bit, but that's what our function kind of looks like. Oops. So we've got a 0 here at -3 and another one here at 4. Okay, so, and we knew that from looking at the function too. The zeros were -3 and +4. So B, when is it positive? Well, it's positive from -3 all the way, well, to 4, I guess it's 0. So from -3 to 4, put these in interval notation. So from -3 to 4, and then from 4 to infinity. Put a union in there. Technically, it's 0 at 4, so we couldn't include 4 in that. And then where is it negative? Well, we look at Desmos again, and it's negative from all the way to -3. So from negative infinity to -3. So look at the graph, find the zeros, determine where it's 0, positive, and negative. All right, let's try that again. Determine the real number values of x, 0, undefined, positive, negative. All right, so x plus 3 times x minus 5. And then I want to divide that by 5x minus 2. All right, hit the home screen here. Boom, there we go. All right, so here's the zeros, -3 and 5. And we know where it's undefined because that's where our vertical asymptotes are. So zeros were -3 and 5. B, undefined. Well, undefined is vertical asymptotes. What makes the bottom 0? So set that equal to 0. So 2/5. So it's undefined at 2/5. And if you look at the graph, that would be right here where that asymptote is. Okay. And then C, positive. Well, where is this thing positive? It's positive from -3 to the asymptote at 2/5. So from -3 to 2/5, it's positive. And then it's also positive out here to the end from 5 to infinity. And by positive, I mean above the x-axis. Negative, where is it below the x-axis? Well, from all the way out here at -infinity to -3. And that's what that U stands for, is and from the asymptote down here to -5. So 2/5 to +5. Sorry about that. Okay, so 0, positive, negative, undefined. Look at the graph, find the zeros. It kind of tells you where you need to look. All right, solve that equation graphically. Well, before I do that graphically, we want to zero this out. So that's x cubed minus 6x squared plus 8x minus 2 is less than or equal to 0. So we want to know when this is less than or equal to 0. When is this below the x-axis? All right, so we got x cubed minus 6x squared plus 8x minus 2. Boom. All right. So there's our zeros. So we wanted less than or equal to this time. So it's less than or equal to from here all the way to 0.325. And then between those two, 1.46 and 4.21. That's where it's below the x-axis. So it is less than 0 from -infinity to 0.325, and between 1.46 and 2.41. So less than or equal to, I suppose we would use brackets because it's equal to there. Not going to get too picky on that though. Okay, so less than is below the line, greater than is above the line. All right, let's try another one. This is another less than one. We got kind of a funky chicken equation. Let's go ahead and write that. X minus 2 times the square root of x plus 1. Oops. Ooh, baby. All right, so right here, -1 to 2. So it asked, when is it less than 0? Well, it's below the line between -1 and 2. So all you'd have to put on this one, it is from -1 to 2. All right, so use those graphs to help you out. Less than is below the x-axis, zeroed out. Once you zero it out, less than is below, greater than is above. All right, looks like I got a few that I'm going to go through with you here. Let's do it. So page 242 says number 2, 0, positive, and negative for those values. Well, the zeros are easy. It's just what makes the function 0. So that's 7, -1/3, and -4. B, we want to do what? Positive and negative. So B is positive, C is negative. So I got to graph that on Desmos. X plus 1, or excuse me, x minus 7 times 3x plus 1 times x plus 4. All right, so if you kind of zoom that out, you can see, all right, so we got some zeros here. Well, we know our zeros already, but now we can see where they're positive and negative. So it's positive between -4 and -1/3, and from 7 to infinity. So it's positive from -4 to -1/3, and from union 7 to infinity. And then negative would be from -infinity to -4, and from -1/3 to 7. So -infinity to -4, and from -1/3 to +7. That's where it's below the line. Okay? Use that Desmos to help you out. All right, 20. We want to see when that one's greater than 0. All right, well, let's graph it. 3x to the 4th. X to the 4th minus 5x cubed minus 12x squared plus 12x plus 16. Boom. All right, so we wanted to see when this was what? Positive. So it's positive. There are zeros. So it's positive from -infinity to -1.33. Because we're going greater than. It's also or equal to 0. Then it's positive from here all the way out. So from -1 to infinity. So positive means above the line. It's only below the line right there at that little dip. All right, 28. 28 says 0, undefined, positive, and negative. All right, here we go. Desmos time, baby. So we got 2x times absolute value of, where are we at here? 2x minus 9. Whoops. X squared. Bad. Absolute value 2x plus 9. All right. All right. This thing has zeros at negative 4.5 and 0. So negative 4.5 and 0 are the zeros for A. It's not undefined anywhere, and it's positive for the whole thing. It never drops below the x-axis. So it's positive everywhere except at the zeros. So just x cannot be negative 4.5 and 0 because it's not positive there, because it's 0 there. And then D, it's never negative. All right, is that making sense? Looking at those with Desmos, going through. All right, I believe 29 is the same question. So positive, negative, undefined, and the zeros. So here we go. Square root of x plus 5 divided by 2x plus 1 times x minus 1. All right. So we got a 0 at negative 5, and then I don't think it gets really close to that line, but it never hits it. Okay, and then this is all below. So, all right. So we had a 0 at negative 5. So the zeros are at negative 5. B, it's undefined at the bottom 0, so negative 1/2 and 1. C, so it's positive. If you look at the graph from negative 5 to negative 1/2. And from the other side of the asymptote out here to infinity. So from 1 to infinity. And then it's negative between the two asymptotes down here, between negative 1/2 and 1. All right, last one here, number 40. We want to see when that is less than 0. So we want to see when it's below the line. But let's graph it. What do we got here? X cubed minus 4x divided by, oops, no. Put that whole thing in parentheses. Divided by, there we go, x squared plus 2. Boom. So we want to know when that is less than 0. Well, it's less than 0 from negative infinity to negative 2, and from 0 to 2. That's when it's below the x-axis. So we want to know when it's less than, because that's the sign they gave us. So negative infinity to negative 2, and from, what was it, 0 to positive 2. All right, that is a wrap for section 2.8.